Now, joining me in studio, we have Paps, who was with us last week. It's good to see you again, Paps. Karibu tena to the show. And today we want to talk about how well we know our partners. All right. Last week we had very tragic events, of course, on Tuesday. And it was so sad to hear how neighbors, spouses, family members were saying, I never imagined this person would do something like this. How can we begin to sort of understand how do we even find ourselves in that sort of situation? Does it mean we're just not communicating, or what is happening in such a relationship for such things to happen?
First of all, the entrance of every relationship and every interaction is the thing we call persona. Persona is who I present myself to be, and persona is actually a mask. And every time we meet someone, the first thing we do is to mask, because we don't know who they are, we don't trust them. And persona is the natural way to interact at first, when you are meeting the person for the first time. And this is for every relationship. Actually, we all have personas. I also have personas. And so in different interactions, you present yourself in a different way. Now, the problem comes when this person is now familiar, but you don't allow yourself to now become vulnerable with them. Because vulnerability is now coming to this place where you are comfortable being yourself around them. The mask drops and now you're able to really communicate. Now, the problem is that sometimes it is possible to live with a persona for the rest of your life. Right. To live with someone who is masked. And this masking can be so many things. Actually, it's interesting that in Catholic Church, a marriage can be nullified on the basis of persona. Like the person I married, I thought you are this, but you are not. And actually that can be a basis for nullification of a marriage or a relationship. And so when we come to masking and not being yourself, it can actually be destructive even to the other person and also to yourself, because you are confused. You have an identity crisis, and every time you keep on wondering, okay, so who is this person playing out at this time? Am I Paps? Am I Wanjiro? Who am I? And of course, that one creates a confusion, not only in yourself, but to everyone around you. And that is why now, when a tragedy happens, you are actually shocked that I thought I knew this person and I don't.
So, wow. So these personas, are there any telltale signs of, when our partners or our spouses or, I don't know, whoever the person you're in a relationship with, is not being honest with you? What are some of the things that we should be looking out for?
First of all, you are equal partners in the relationship. There is a very big indication of a red flag when you are the inferior person in the relationship and this other person always have an upper hand. They call you when they want, they are with you when they choose, and so it means that you cannot even be able to challenge them. Because a healthy relationship is where you are equal partners and you are accountable to each other. In a way, I can call you out and I'm like, so why didn't you come home yesterday? How comes you are always on your phone and you go outside? Did you see that meme that was very funny about when your spouse is going out to look for network, ile hello, 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 because he cannot get it, follow him and help him look for the network. That was so funny. Because sometimes you may be living with someone and you don't even know what they do. You don't even know who they are. And that is why in every relationship, being partners, in a way that you are equal partners and you have ownership for this relationship, but you're not the inferior person who always takes and calls shots, and the other person is the inferior one who cannot even ask questions.
Right. So
now that is a problem. Partners. That is actually a red flag.
Okay.
And of course, number two is when this person, in every interaction you are in, you can see they are a different person. And I think if there's anyone who gets confused, when a relationship has personas, it's children. They can see this person in so many interactions and they are different people. And that is why it is important to understand that all these personas can be confusing, because there should be consistency in who I am, regardless of which space I am in. There should be a level of consistency. Of course, you cannot be the same person in every interaction. The person you are in church, the person you are at your workplace, the person you are in a social event, the person you are at home, those are different, but they cannot be different in a way that they are not recognizable. There will be things that are consistent. And so the moment you are with someone and they are totally different, even the voice changes, you know, who they are changes, even the vibes changes. And of course, they don't want to identify with you in these other places because you're not part of it. And so you're not part of who they are in the different places they are in. Then that one indicates a problem in that relationship.
All right. Wow. So if you're just joining us, we're sitting here with Paps on Relationship Tuesday right here at Full Circle with Joyce. And we're talking about knowing your partner. Do you actually know the person that you are in a relationship with? You know, and it could even apply, I think, to friends, right?
Oh,
Do you
yeah.
really know your friends? Do you really know your spouse? Do you really know, you know, the people around you? And we're taking your feedback. I also asked you to let me know where you're watching from. And so let me give those shout outs just now before we continue with the show. Hey, Mrs. Wahiga, I'm Phyllis watching from Mombasa, loving how the show has started. I'm definitely sticking to the end. Thank you so much, Phyllis. Good morning, Joyce. I'm watching the show from Juja and loving it. That's from Sue. Asante Sana. Good morning, Joyce. I'm Rachel Maura from Githurai 45, tuned into the show as always. I really love your show. And you say hashtag Relationship Tuesday. Asante Sana. James Mwangi, you're watching us from Nakuru. All in all, Joyce, I love the show. Thank you so much. Kendi, you say, Joyce, you look good as always. You inspire me. Nashkuru. Thank you very much. And kudos to the glam team behind all of this. Now, we want to hear your questions. We want to hear your feedback. And in fact, I believe our phone line is going to be open. We would love to take your questions. Perhaps there's something specific you want to ask Paps about concerning your own situation. Those numbers are going to be on your screen. But in the meantime, the SMS line is 22999. If you've been in a situation where you've discovered something, you know, about a person that you're in some sort of relationship with, would you let us know? Again, the SMS line is 22999. Now, Paps, coming back to you, you've given us these sort of signals as far as if a person is being dishonest about who they are or what they're up to. So once we discover those things, possibly, you know, where do we go? What do we do? Because obviously that's a very scary situation, first of all.
Yes.
It's frustrating. It's heartbreaking because you would never, this is someone you've loved, someone you saw your whole future
Yes.
with this person. And now you've seen that it's all been a facade. How can we start to deal with those realities? Especially in situations where whatever they're doing almost becomes violent or detrimental not only to myself but even to others.
First of all, it depends with what you've discovered. Of course, you can discover something that is very incriminating, and probably this person is in a gang, or probably this person is in a cult. You know, there are so many things that can actually be very horrific to discover. And the first thing you need, first of all, to do is to seek help for yourself. Start with you first. And one of the things that I like saying, don't always blame when you find yourself in such a situation. Don't always blame the other person. Also ask yourself, how did I end up here? Because one of the things that I believe, and I always tell I think I say this over and over again in our programs, is that first of all, you attract who you are.
Right.
To a very big extent. You attract who you are. Probably it is my insecurity that attracted that person. It is my fears. It is my naivety. Probably I'm just ignorant and they took advantage of that. And first of all, you need to take responsibility and just tell yourself, I am in this. I got myself here and I want to get out. And first of all, take the ownership and then ask yourself, where can I start? One of the things I always believe, you need to go, first of all, before you even confront them, go and confide in someone who has probably a know-how on how to help you. Is it a therapist? Is it a pastor, or even a very trusted and mature friend who can be able to guide you on how to navigate those murky waters? Because first of all, you can actually react in a way that it becomes now, you know, like immediately destructive to you. What if you get killed? What if you get kidnapped? And so first of all, you need to understand that I have now discovered this about this person. I'm so shaken. My whole world has come crumbling down. And the first thing I do is to first of all ask myself, how did I end up here? And get someone to be able to guide you.
Because I think that's such a powerful statement. And it's one that so many of us forget. I read something from someone online the other day saying that we also need to take part in the blame, in the situations around us, which is something we always want to project it to the other person. But you're saying something that I firmly believe, you attract the people around you, right? And I want us to talk a little more about that, because so many people enter relationships completely insecure,
Oh, yeah.
and they're looking at relationships to be completing them. But in my mind, actually, that's not what a relationship is
Yes,
supposed to be.
yes,
Can you
yes,
talk to
yes.
us about what a good, healthy relationship is actually supposed to be?
First of all, a good relationship, you come into it from a place of wholeness.
Exactly.
I am a whole person. I have dealt with my issues, I've dealt with my insecurities, I've dealt with my pain and my wounds, because sometimes those can also attract a dysfunctional person into your life. Make sure you're first of all a whole person. Work on yourself. Personal development is an endless journey. I'm still working on myself even as I help other people work on themselves, because I need to continuously improve who I am. And to just realize that every situation in life will present you with a challenge to become better so that you can handle it. Actually say we are the ones who grow. It is not our situations that change. I'm the one who keeps on growing so that I'm able to handle it in a better way. And first of all, when you realize even you found yourself in such an opportunity, you actually need to ask yourself, so how can I grow from this? How can I grow from this? Because one of the things I believe, Joyce, is that all things work together for good. And so even when you find yourself in that place, ask yourself, how can I make the most out of it? How can I benefit from it? How can I grow from this experience? And when you realize that you need to work on yourself, first of all, you even need to identify what led me into this situation.
Right.
So what did this, when this person entered my life, what did they see? Even if it was a negative thing. Even people who end up in abusive relationship, dysfunctional relationships, and of course abuse has so many dimensions: spiritual, social, financial, emotional, mental, all those. It is because probably there was an undealt issue in my life. There was a baggage that they saw and they were like, I think I should jump in and ride on it. And so by working on it, that is why I was saying the first thing you do is first of all to seek help for yourself. Because the other person is not the one who needs help. You're the one who needs help at that particular time. And so first of all, go for yourself. Yes.
All right. So in terms of also working on ourselves, obviously men have the issues that they struggle with, but for a
Yes.
moment, let's just talk to the women. There's a tendency for us to really lie we do anything to get the man, you know what I mean? Can we discuss and sort of debunk how that is actually a very dangerous practice to take into your relationship?
Yes.
Because the problem with the lying is you have to keep lying to sustain the previous lie.
Oh, yeah.
And for lie A, you need lie B. For lie B, you need to have
Lie
another
Z.
lie. Can we actually talk about that as well? And maybe you can look at it from both perspectives, both from the men's side and from the women's side.
Yes. First of all, approaching it from the woman's side, one of the things I love telling women, and we discuss this a lot in our program, is to deal with your daddy issues. Because sometimes you are looking for your dad or you're running away from your dad.
Wow.
How you are brought up. And so you need to be aware of this. First of all, who was my dad? How did I relate with them when I was growing up? Because most of the times when you come to intimate relationship, your father was like your first love. If he was absent, you still have something you need to work on. By being aware that I missed out on something and probably I still need it and I'm looking for it. If you also had a dysfunctional dad, probably he was an addict, probably he was absent, probably he was a silent kind of a dad, or he was withdrawn, you also need to understand how did it wound me. Because I like saying that there are three things we look for in relationships. We look for acceptance,
Okay.
you look for affirmation, and you're also looking for appreciation. And so in acceptance, affirmation, and
repeat those
appreciation,
three?
you're looking for acceptance, appreciation, and affirmation.
Okay.
You're looking for someone who tells you, I believe in you. You know, you are an amazing lady. And those three things, when you're looking for them, sometimes you can end up in a dysfunctional relationship because it's meeting your need. I sit with so many women who are in abusive relationship, and one of the things that I always like getting to the bottom of it as a coach is, what does it give you? Because you need to understand that I can be able to get what I'm getting from this relationship from elsewhere, sometimes even from God. Because whatever you are looking for is a deep need.
Right.
And that is why you keep on going back on it, sometimes even living in that place where you're endangering your life because you're looking for something.
Hold that thought right there. I know someone can absolutely relate to that, someone who's watching this morning. We're going to take a short break just now, but when we come back, we are taking your questions. Again, the SMS line is 22999 and our phone line 01 621 000. We're going to be taking in your questions right after this break. Welcome back to Full Circle with me, Joyce Omondi Waihiga. We're here with Paps on Relationship Tuesday, and we're talking about how well do you know your partner or your spouse, your friends, whoever it is that you may be in a relationship with. And we are inviting your questions. Once again, the SMS line is 22999 and our phone line is open as well. You have the opportunity to call in live into studio and talk to us right here as we continue with the show. That number is 0709 621 101, and the number is also going to be on your screen, so do get calling. Turning to some of your questions here and your SMSs. First, we have, good morning, I'm Esther watching from Thika. The show is fantastic, asante sana. Full Circle with Joyce. Hello Paps and Joyce, very insightful topic there, and that's someone watching from Eldoret. Tunashukuru. Now Paps, let's turn to some of the questions that we have here. Someone says, my husband is always moody and on phone when he gets home, but he's jovial when he's out with his friends. At times when I try to ask what's wrong, he uses abusive language towards me. Even at times he wants me out of the house. And then they say, what is wrong with him?
And so still coming back on the persona, that this person is totally different. Out there, hi everyone, and then in here, mute, and I don't care about you. And first of all, it's good for you to realize that you're in an abusive relationship, and to also ask yourself, how did you end up there? First of all, one of the things I always say, that we end up in that place even with a persona playing out in our relationship because you're not assertive. You need to stand up for yourself. And like I said, you need to stand up when you're not angry.
But so now, someone will tell you, hey, but Paps, this is Kenya. This is Africa. Women are not supposed to do that. Like, my mother would pinch me even if I'm 40, that I'm going to be assertive to my husband.
First of all, assertive is not, let me say, being bitchy. Assertive is actually learning to say yes or no and be comfortable with your perspective. Because sometimes when you're living in a relationship where you are a doormat, then everything that is coming on you comes. And of course, the opposite of assertive is aggressive, where you're this violent and loud and rude and abusive kind of a place. But you come to a place of saying, I feel this relationship is disrespectful.
Okay, so you're firm.
Yeah, you're actually firm.
It's understanding yourself and being able to express yourself.
It's a firmness, yeah. And if you need support, please go and get it. Okay. One of the things I know about assertiveness is that it is easier for you to start building assertiveness with the least threatening relationship. Start out there even with a conductor, with a mama mboga. Start out with someone who is less threatening, and then it will be practical with time to come and do it here in your most intimate relationships. But of course, it also shows that there are no boundaries in that relationship. And so when it comes to this environment where this person is moody and even aggressive in the house, then where do you start? Because one of the things, if you don't address that situation, it will always be like that. And the other thing is to also realize what is wounding your husband. How was your relationship or marriage always like this? Were there sunny days when you guys were starting? What snapped? What broke down? Because sometimes it's actually a communication breakdown that happened long time ago, and then it's still playing out and becoming worse and worse. So it is good to retract and ask yourself, when did this start? Okay. What happened?
Okay, we have so many questions, so we're going to try and get through as many of them as quickly as possible. There's someone here who has a great question. They say, you don't give me your name or where you're watching from, but thank you so much for the question. It says, my question is, what if you don't get the 3 A's in your relationship, but get it elsewhere and still love your guy? Is it worth staying in the relationship? Now, just to recap for those who are joining us, you told us that the 3 A's are? Appreciation,
affirmation,
acceptance, and acceptance.
So,
if you don't get appreciation, affirmation, and acceptance in your relationship, but get it somewhere else, but apparently you still love this person, is it worth staying in that relationship?
I will say yes. First of all, the minimum that you can be able to stay in a relationship, I'm sure you wouldn't fail to get at least 1. So it means that you're not getting the 3, but you're getting 1. And probably that 1 is meeting a need in you. And first of all, it's good for me to say that your husband is not supposed to meet all your needs in your life. Oh, yeah.
Not even these three?
Those three are very important, but it's important for you to first of all realize that you need to meet those needs within yourself. I need to first of all affirm myself, accept myself, and also appreciate myself, so that whatever I'm getting from the second party and from the third party is actually an addition. But it doesn't
what
come
if
to a
this
place.
party, I mean, how do we know? Supposing this party is another man.
Okay, now that is a
wouldn't
problem.
be appropriate.
That is a problem.
Yeah.
That is a problem. I didn't understand that they're getting it from another man
Sure,
out there. I thought
yeah,
probably
they don't
it's from
specify,
friends,
but let's just
it is from
assume.
family,
Yeah.
it is from probably people in church. Because like I said, these three needs are actually a deficiency that you have.
Okay.
If you are affirmed and appreciated and accepted when you are young, probably you outgrow that need. But if that need was not met, probably, and especially the way I was saying about the fatherhood vulnerability, where you missed out on daddy on this.
Right. Speaking of fatherhood, Bella from Nanyuki says, I'm a fan of the show, and at the moment I'm going through a situation with my fiance or fiance, and I think the issue is with my dad not being there is the reason that I'm tolerating so much from my partner. And she says, help.
Yeah, you really need help. One of the things is to, first of all, is it possible for you to get to a counselor? You know, because you need someone who can help you unpack everything. First of all, the place we find ourselves, and even being aware, first of all, just having the awareness that something is broken, that is very important. I'm glad that that bulb has lit for you. And the second thing you need to do is to get help. To get help as early as now, especially that you're still in the fiancé level, you know, just get help and be able to know what is missing out. And probably that missing need is what attracted this person that is now abusive. You know, in a way that they're not only meeting this need, but probably they're making you even in a worse place.
All right.
And you need to actually seek help so that you can be able to get some guidance on how to get out of it.
Okay, Bella, I
Yes.
hope that answers your question. Hey, Joyce, my question is, you have a man and he loves you and promises to marry you, but sometimes when he does something wrong and you ask him about it, he threatens to leave you. But after some time, he comes back to apologize to you. Is this true love? It's like a constant state of insecurity.
That is manipulation. And first of all, I'm glad he's able to come back and apologize. But one of the things I always wonder, when he comes to apologize, do you pick it up from where you left? Do you still have the question answered?
Do you address
You know, yes,
the
you left
issue?
because you didn't want to answer this question. So can we come back? I was asking you about your bank account. I was asking you about your the calls you've been making at night, so that you still deal with the issue. The problem is when you sweep things under the carpet and you keep on moving, because that will be a bigger issue when you guys get married. Yeah, you need
There's
to
a
deal with
question
issues.
here from someone that I think a lot of women can relate to, unfortunately so. Hi, Joyce. I'm Jennifer, enjoying the show. My question is, how do you deal with insecurity in your marriage after one partner cheats? Because believe me, the relationship will never be the same again.
I know. But one of the things, even before I got married, I ever met a lady who was in a relationship that was dealt with, and you know, like the infidelity issue dealt a blow, and she was able to recover from it. And for me, that is something that is so amazing that even now I believe that God is still able to restore a relationship, even after infidelity. But it's important for you to take the right steps and to take it the right way, so that you also, one of the things that I believe is the person who is now it is your partner who cheated on you. You are the one who has most work to do. The work of forgiveness, the work of being able to build trust again, the work of being able to communicate, and even the work of being able to just live with it. That I'm actually living in a relationship that is scarred by infidelity. But I still believe that even after infidelity, I've actually seen so many women in our program whose relationship were, you know, blighted by infidelity, but they still recover from it and still build back confidence and still be able to trust your husband and work on it.
Okay.
Yes.
We have a question from a gentleman here. Shout out to you, Luke, who's watching us from Busia. And he says, I wanted to ask, I am dating a lady and fully support her. I even take care of her school needs. I love her so much. But the problem is that my stepmom is totally against her. What shall I do? The fact being, this lady is always there for me and she always cares. I guess he always cares about her. So here you have a situation where there's someone you feel you know and appreciate, but there's someone else in the
third party.
picture, maybe even painting a negative persona about this person that you
Yes.
care about.
So first of all, Luke, I'm glad that you're still standing by her.
Yeah.
And of course, you realize that you living means that you also live the opinions. of the third parties. Because one of the things you need to ask yourself, why am I in this relationship? You know, and also between the two of us, one of the things is you realize that that is a potential in-law issue that will still keep on playing out in your marriage. But sometimes it is about you being in love and sticking together and making it so that you actually, with time, convince the other person that actually God is in this.
Absolutely. Paps, always a pleasure to have you here on our couch here at Full Circle with Joyce. Asante sana for being here.
My pleasure.
We're going to continue with the show after a short break. Hey, I was about to say a short break. Yawa. Omera, don't joke. Hey, it is Tuesday, Relationship Tuesday. Mtajuaje. Stay tuned right here, Full Circle with Joyce. After this, we're going to talk about jealous partners. Don't go away.